Hi, it's Pat McDonald, your host for Vote for Vermont, where our tagline is listening beyond the soundbites. Today in studio, I have retired Chief Warrant Officer C. William Mattoon, or Bill, as we call him. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Do you know it was exactly a year ago today that you were on the show?
No.
Yeah, when I looked up my notes, it was exactly a year today.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cool? And we are here. Bill and I are on a USS Vermont support group together. That's how we knew each other. But Bill, last year and again this year, we are going to be talking about the Medal of Honor Day, which is March 25th, right around the corner.
March
so
25th.
This is good timing. I'm just going to read you a little something, and then we're going to get Bill in here to talk. Vermont is a state with deep history of military service, commemorates the bravery of its 66 Medal of Honor recipients each year on March 25th. Is that number still, does that still hold true, you think?
It's actually 64.
64.
I think it's 64. Let me check.
Oh, my notes are wrong. But these individuals were either born or enlisted in Vermont. They've been recognized for their exceptional valor and selfishness in the face of danger. And we love our military, don't we? I love those F-35s. Oh, my gosh. The other day, a whole, I don't know, squadron of helicopters came over my house. They were training, and I'm out there waving like a son of a gun. I'm waving. I know they can see me because at the last ceremony we had up at the State House, I talked to a couple of them, and they said, "Oh, we can see you." I said, "Well, if you see somebody waving their heads off, it's me." Because I think it's great. So tell us a little bit about your background, with a little emphasis on your military experience.
Again?
Again.
Well, I was born in Bering, raised in Chelsea, graduated through the grade school, through the high school. After high school, I went to 2 years Champlain College, which was,
Nice.
at that time, it was a 2-year business school. And on completion of that, my great aunt, who was on the selective service board for the county, Orange County, said, "Better find a service or I'm going to select one for you." And of course, it was right at the height of the Vietnam War. And so I ended up in the Navy, joined the Navy with 100 other Vermonters. We left in June, went through basic training out at Great Lakes.
Yeah.
80 of us made it through boot camp. Some of the other 20 got held back for medical reasons or something like that.
That's tough going, though, right? If you make it through, it says something.
The summertime is hot out there too. After that, I went to storekeeper school, logistics, supply. Ended up volunteering for the submarine service.
There you are.
And so that started off my career. I made 4 deterrent Polaris patrols. And from then in 1970, I got out, came back, worked for Rock of Ages for a year, and decided to go back in the service and joined the Coast Guard.
There you go.
And retired from the Coast Guard as a Chief Warrant Officer in 1997. I can't believe it's been almost 30 years since I retired.
That's great.
So.
It goes fast. Days go slow, years go fast, I think. That's great. I wonder if my father taught you. Where did you go to the submarine school?
New London, Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he taught. And so let's talk a little bit about the Green Mountain chapter that you belong to here in
Green
Vermont.
Mountain Submarine Veterans?
Yes, right.
Okay, there's an organization called the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated, which is submariners that basically promote the submarine and the memory of the submarine service and support the submarine service. There's a chapter here called the Green Mountain chapter from all Vermonters, well, all live in Vermont. It's about 50 of us right now.
Great.
And of course, we're always picking up 1 or 2 more maybe as we find them out there. Been very supportive of the USS Vermont, also the USS Montpelier. The 2 submarines that are still on active service.
Yeah.
And
Does the USS Montpelier have a support group like we have?
Yes, Deborah Martin.
Deborah
Martin. She was also on the commissioning committee. She and her husband we're on the commissioning committee for the USS Vermont, and that's how I got involved more so
Yeah,
that
here we
way.
are.
And with the Vermont Sport Group.
Because I remember, I don't know how many years ago this was, because I worked with Deborah in the Department of Labor, and every time she was on the phone, which was okay, but she was talking about the USS Montpelier. And one time, I think there were so many of the sailors came to march on the 4th of July parade. I remember that. That was stunning.
They've come up several years.
Yeah.
And, they usually host a picnic there at their farm and
house,
stuff
Deborah
for
and
them. And,
Steve. Yeah.
And being in New London, it's an easy trip. So.
Yeah.
But right now they're down in Norfolk, Newport News, being overhauled. In other words, going through refit and stuff, being updated and stuff. So.
Yep. And our submarine is in Pearl Harbor. That's a tough place to be.
Vermont, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the significance of March 25th, which is tomorrow? No.
March 25th,
is-
which is just about a month away.
Yeah.
And it's something that I just kind of stumbled onto. It's George Bush, first George Bush, signed a bill to honor the Medal of Honor Day on March 25th, which commemorates the first Medal of Honor that was ever awarded back in around 1861.
Wow.
It was through an act of Congress signed by Abraham Lincoln for action that was done earlier to honor those individuals who had gone above and beyond
Great.
on the call of duty. And ever since then, it has been around.
Yeah.
But the 25th of March, because that was the first day that the first Medal of Honor was presented.
That's excellent.
The recipient. They never say awarded because it's not something that's considered an award.
So what do they call it?
They call it any Medal of Honor is a recipient.
Recipient.
And not considered an award. So it's
Interesting.
you can understand why, because it's not something you go out and earn.
Well, no, not on purpose anyway.
Not on purpose.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is amazing that out of 40 million military people over the years, only 4,000 have ever been awarded the Medal of Honor.
Wow.
It's the four services. The Army, well, actually, I could say five: the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and the Coast Guard.
And I have on my notes here, it says guardians. Who are the guardians? It says that these awards can be presented to soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, guardians, and Coast Guards. Is that the...
I wonder if that might be the Coast Guard.
Yeah, it might be.
They're
I've
all
never...
considered
I just saw that
guardians
and
of
I
that medal because
Yeah.
it's a very solemn affair
Yeah.
when it's presented.
Right.
The Medal of Honor is presented now by the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief. When it first started, some of them were just mailed out to the individuals.
Oh, wow.
Some of them were presented maybe by their command or something like that. But thanks to Teddy Roosevelt, who decided that this was such a distinguished medal, or that it should be awarded by the Commander-in-Chief. And so, ever since then,
Wow.
every Medal of Honor that's been presented has been presented by the President,
That's great.
Commander-in-Chief.
That is now the design itself, and we're going to put up a picture of the several medals that are a little different depending on what branch of the
Branch of the service.
branch of the service you're in. But there's a basic design to it, though, isn't there?
There's a basic design. As I said, the design for the Army is a little bit different than that for the Navy, which also is Navy Marine Corps, and of course the Air Force, which was established in the 1950s. The Coast Guard uses the Navy. They don't have a particular design. And it's interesting now with the Space Force, which is another branch of the service. they anticipate there'll probably not be any awarded in that particular service.
It's hard to to perform some of the duties that might make you eligible, right?
So, unless we get into space wars.
Yeah, right. Let's not.
So, but yeah, it is a very solemn honor, as you said. You know,
They have. I read this. It says it features a central image of Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom and war.
yeah.
That's a quite a title, wisdom and war. I think perhaps we're missing the first part of that, of some of the things that are going on these days. Representing the United States, and then they have the U.S. of A. on there. What did they say? The design symbolizes the valor and sacrifice required to earn the medal, and extraordinary heroism. That really is. And then when the president, I love when the president, when they go back a few years, when they realize that somebody should have received the medal like 10, 20, 30 years ago, and they come to the White House older, and when they get the medal from everybody's crying, and it's so emotional.
It is.
That they finally recognize that this gentleman, whoever.
If I may, kind of read you a little bit.
Yeah.
The Medal of Honor is the United States' highest award for military valor and action. And while over 150 years have passed since its inception, the meaning behind the medal is never tarnished. Etched within are the very values that each recipient displayed in the moments that mattered: bravery, courage, sacrifice, integrity, and a deep love of country and desire to always do what is right. Every story, every
Right.
Medal of Honor recipient has its own story.
Right. We'll maybe talk about one or two of them a little bit later. My notes say that you must be in actual combat with an enemy, which would leave out the space.
That has changed.
Oh, really?
Well, I should say it is. That's what the criteria
Right.
is now. The criteria changed around World War II. Before it was a little less stringent. Because one of the individuals that received the Medal of Honor, a Vermonter, mention him as Willie Johnson.
Oh, yes, of course.
From
yes, we've
Salem.
talked about it.
What was Salem is now Derby, Vermont.
Right.
He is the youngest recipient ever to receive the Medal of Honor
Yeah, yes.
for action during, he was 11 years old down in Virginia
Oh,
when
I
the
remember
company
this.
was routed,
Right.
and the guys dropped their weapons, dropped their whatever they had and left, but he hung on to his drummer. He was a drummer. Hung on his drummer and kept it. And it was so impressed the leadership
Yep.
that they recommended him for the Medal of Honor.
Oh, wow.
He finally ended up getting it 2 years later when he was 13 years of age.
That's incredible.
But he is the youngest recipient and probably will be the youngest recipient.
Ever. I mean, who else
And
is
he was
gonna-
from Vermont.
Yep. That is amazing.
So
Where is that story told? Is there a statue or memorial somewhere for this young man?
there's been books written about him over the years. I don't have particular ones here, but yes, they have written. I don't think there's a particular monument anywhere.
It seemed to me it would be something that you'd want people to know. 11 years old.
It's been said that he was lost at sea when he was older.
Oh.
And they don't really know where he was lost. Which is unfortunate. I've also heard some places that he did live, but
No.
so I haven't investigated that.
Yeah, I kept a
particular-
low profile. I wouldn't do that if he was that brave. That's incredible. So we recognized last year, an incredible ceremony, by the way. You mentioned him before, Torpedoman Second Class Henry Brault, who they say was from Grand Isle, but that's where he was.
That's where he
commissioned.
enlisted.
Yeah, enlisted. Okay.
Enlisted from. That was established as his home of record when he joined the Navy.
Right.
Kind of a unique individual in some ways. He was born and raised in Putnam, Connecticut. Apparently had relatives up in the Grand Isle area. He actually, during World War I, served with the Canadian services. But he ended up enlisting from Grand Isle, and he was in the submarine service. And he was awarded
It's
he
hard
was a
not to say
recipient of the Medal of Honor when he was on a submarine down in the Panama area, the 05. It was struck by what I call a banana boat, but a cargo ship, and it sank within several minutes.
Right.
It was underwater. He had actually was escaping out of the torpedo room, realized that he had a shipmate back there that was still in the torpedo room, went back, secured the hatch to the torpedo room, and they were there for 31 hours before they were, 31 hours? Yeah, 31 hours
Wow.
before they were able to raise the ship enough
To get them out.
to get them out of the hatch
Wow.
and stuff. Completely in dark,
Right.
no light.
And waiting to see how long the air is
Right.
going to last.
And from the story is that they kept banging on the hull to let the
Excuse me.
rescuers know that they were still there, still alive. So,
Wow.
but that's one way he could have escaped. He could have made it off,
Yeah, but he went back.
but he went back.
And we had at the service the young man who wrote that book, and it was fabulous, Ryan Walker.
Ryan Walker.
And it's so interesting to talk to. And I was so impressed that he came up. And the story, what is the title of the book about the silent service?
It says, the Silent Service's First Hero.
Great.
He is
First and only, right?
He is the first enlisted and only enlisted individual to receive the Medal of Honor, presented by Calvin Coolidge.
Who we know too.
And it's kind of funny when you look back on it. The day of they were supposed to have ceremony, he showed up late.
Oh, really?
And somehow communication, the vessel that he was on, he wasn't able to get off the vessel to get to the
Really?
White House
Lovely.
on time. So, but yes, he was the first submariner to receive the Medal of Honor. There's only been 8 submariners ever to receive the Medal of Honor. 2 of them were credited to Vermont. The second one was Red Ramage, who got his appointment through Vermont to the academy.
Yeah.
And so that's how Vermont got credited. But 2 of the 8 submariners were credited
Great.
for
So no
Vermont.
matter where you were born, it's where you were
Where
you enlisted.
Enlisted, or what you establish as your home of record when you entered the service.
Interesting.
And
wow.
so
We're
that's
glad
how-
they did that because it gives us something to look. That book was I got it on Kindle and it was very interesting. After the meeting we had at the State House,
That's what, yeah.
yeah, it was great. And I think he's working on some others too.
He's working on other stuff too.
Yeah.
Talking about Henry, I just love the subject of that. I'm in the process right now of trying to get a Vermont historical marker up at Grand Isle at the farm where he enlisted and where
that's
he
great.
was. It's on Sims Road up there. I've talked with the town fathers, as you might say, or the
Yes,
select
right.
board to get their blessing to make sure
Excellent.
that there was no problem there. The people that currently own the farm have been very supportive of it. So now it's just a matter of getting the wording down because you
right.
can only have
Are those one of those metal?
right the green
yeah,
historical
right, great.
markers. You can only have 750 characters, including spaces.
Ooh,
on
that's
it.
not so much.
So compact that all down and try to get that
Yeah.
in there. But I'm working on that, and I'm
Great.
hoping that maybe this year we can.
Oh, we could do
get
a big thing up there.
get that marker up.
Yeah.
There. So
That'd be great. Where is it going to be placed, you said?
It will probably be, hopefully there at the farm.
Oh,
The
great,
people have
great.
said it's at a dead-end road, so we'll try to work something out, maybe with the locality, to have another sign that points it, so to make
Yeah.
note of it.
Very nice.
But to have that distinction,
Yeah.
to be the first submariner to
That's
ever receive
great.
the Medal of Honor from Vermont and up in that area.
Excellent.
So.
Good for us. Good for him. What a brave thing to do. I would be the submarine. Fortunately, I was always too tall, so I didn't have to worry about. But the thought of being that low with so much water, I even get a little nervous going in the Hudson Tunnel, going into New York, because that's under the water.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so all you need is one leak. You know, like,
The Hudson Tunnel. The Holland Tunnel.
Hudson Tubes, Hudson Tunnel.
The Holland
Oh,
Tunnel?
Why am I saying that? I lived there for a million years. Yeah, but just when you think about it, it's under the dirt, under the water.
Right.
And you're like, yake. But good for him. So I found these notes from last year, and you said you were working on a project with the Secretary of the Navy. Do you remember that? Last year, we just wanted to know. I thought, well, let's ask you what happened.
It's still, there's a
still?
website out there that, in fact, Ryan Walker has initiated it, to try to get submarines named after the Medal of Honor recipients that were in the submarine service. None of the Medal of Honor recipients from the submarine service have ever had a submarine named after them. Some of them had ships, surface ships
Yep,
named after
right.
them, but not a submarine.
Interesting.
And we've had submarines named after individuals, historical individuals.
Right.
Jimmy Carter, for one.
There you go.
Hyman Rickover, who was considered the father of the nuclear submarine. So there's been submarines out there that have carried individual names, but none of them have ever had.
So
a
who's
Medal of
working on this? I presume letters and.
Ryan is getting. There's a petition out there on the website on the web that can be signed.
Yeah.
And as I say, we're slowly gathering signatures
Great.
over the years, and to hopefully present it to the Secretary of the Navy, and because he is designated with responsibility of naming. Name.
Do the laws permit it? Do the rules and regulations permit it?
There
They
is
can do anything they
nothing
want?
really now that should prevent that, because they've had submarines named after states,
Yeah.
cities, and individuals. So they used to be named only after fish.
Really?
That was the tradition, that they were named after fish.
Interesting.
And, until the basically the nuclear navy came in, the fleet ballistic missiles.
Well, we're pretty
submarines.
lucky. We've had two then, right? Montpelier and.
Actually, three. Three submarines have been named after the state, or connected with the state of Vermont. The Ethan Allen,
Ethan Allen, right?
which was a fleet ballistic missile submarine, and the Montpelier, which was the class that was named after all the capitals, and now the USS Vermont, which is the Virginia class submarines, which
Right.
are basically being named after the states. There are Hyman Rickover is one that's been named after an individual. I think also Jimmy Carter was a Virginia class submarine.
Those things are just so awesome. When we went to Connecticut and you just stand near it, you feel like a little ant. They're huge.
They are.
I couldn't go in it. I tried. When I looked down the hole in
hatch.
the hatch was going, and this ladder was going straight down. It didn't have any.
Straight down.
When you use it, it kind of comes out a little bit. But I looked at it, well, maybe not. But I would have loved to have gone into it. I brought my neighbor's son with me because he's very big on the Navy, and he just loved it. He wouldn't stop talking about it all the way home. It was great.
Which is interesting, because they load torpedoes. They have to pull up decks and everything else to get the torpedoes in.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, because
They're huge.
yeah, the torpedoes are big, and where they have to put them through the center of the ship.
Oh, interesting.
And because that's where the torpedoes now on the past attacks go out the side. They don't go out straight out
Yes,
the
yeah,
front.
I saw a
so,
movie on
like
that.
they
That was
used to.
rather interesting. And they don't, what I love, because every time you'd see a movie, it'd be down periscope, and they'd look like this and up periscope. They don't even have that anymore.
No, they're totally
It's all different. Yeah.
Totally different. So.
Yeah, that's good. So we were thinking maybe we should, as our little group, should help you with that. Some letters. Do you ever ask people to send letters or sign the petition?
I have given people the website to go in and sign a petition, and
Yeah.
unfortunately I didn't bring it with me today, but I can provide you that information.
Great. Well, we should
And,
put it
I
out there,
can
like Gary
shoot
put it
that
out.
to you.
That's great.
But
Can you talk about, this is important, to the first woman who won the Medal of Honor? Do we have that?
I do have
I
some
knew you would.
information on that.
That's important for some of us.
Okay. Let's see here. Where we talking about? I think it's on this page here. An American feminist and suffragist.
There you go.
She was a suspected spy. She was a prisoner of war during the Civil War.
Yeah.
And a surgeon, Dr. Mary Edwards Walker.
And who thought she was a spy? The other side.
The South
Yeah.
thought that she was a spy.
Ah,
So, but she remains the only woman ever to receive the Medal of Honor, in which she was awarded during the Civil War. But the medal was stripped from her during a reevaluation around 1916, 1917, when they went through and reevaluated all the Medal of Honors that had been presented.
whether it really rose to the,
And they felt that it didn't rise to the
Right.
what they were establishing
Yeah.
as the qualifications, and so they took it back.
that was rude. And she was the only woman?
And she was the only
wonder
she's
she-
the
they
only
didn't-
only woman.
Nobody got mad or picketed or anything? That's what we do today.
But through a lot of effort, individuals in 1977, it was reinstated.
Oh, good for us.
And
Was she alive at the time, you think?
no, she was
Yeah,
she
she
passed.
dead a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
Posthumous. Well,
So,
posthumous.
but she had received it, and I think President Johnson had given it to her for her action during the Civil War. But it was stripped, and but it was given back. It was given back to her in 1977 by Jimmy Carter. So,
I should-
well, actually, Congress, I think, through congressional action, they decided.
Yeah. My husband and I camped in Maine in Arundel, which is right next to Kennebunkport. And I just was roaming around, and I found a cemetery, and half of the tombstones were about Navy. And now that I'm thinking about it, I really should go back and we could bring the information to the USS submarine group, the USS Vermont, because it was really some serious ranks on those. It was just set aside off the road, and the wrought iron fence, and it was almost all because it was right near the ocean and right near Kennebunk, so that's where they went.
Well, how I got involved with this was about 3 years ago. Well, maybe 3 years ago now. We were up for the Henry Barrow,
Right.
His 100th anniversary here 3 years ago, on his being presented with the
right.
Medal of Honor. And I was talking with one of the legislators who was on the Military Affairs Committee.
Yeah.
I asked him if he knew what the 25th of March was. He said, no. I said, it's the Medal of Honor Day. He wasn't aware of it. As I said, George Bush, the first, was the one who basically signed the law establishing it as to honor all the Medal of Honor recipients. And I said, it'd really be nice if the legislature acknowledged
Right.
all the Medal of Honor recipients that had been in Vermont, or from Vermont. And this was like within 2 weeks. Normally to get a resolution through
Right.
the legislature and through the committees and everything, they like to do it right at the beginning of the year so they
Right.
can have it and get them read. Within 2 weeks, they had the resolution
Really?
up and done.
That's great.
So that started off. And last year we had more people out. There was an individual from Chelsea that was there with her, I think, great-grandfather's Medal of Honor. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it, and I was very close to her, and somehow we'd missed each other.
Yeah.
But a lot of people saw it, and they were really
That's
excited
great.
about
That's
it. And so we had several people showed up last year for the presentation. Hopefully, we'll have more this year.
Nice.
As we get the word out and stuff.
Yeah, There's a lot. We've gotten a lot of interest. I've gotten people talking to me about the what we do, and right in the State House, they come up and ask me about it. And I don't know. I think maybe it's from was Mike Morgan, and who's the woman she's the vice chair of the committee. I met her for the first time the other day, and
Lisa Hango?
yeah, Hango.
Yeah.
And she was. I said, I have to meet you. I'm Pam McDonald. I'm secretary. Blah blah. Blah. And she was so excited because I said, I've tried a couple of times and I've heard her name. Like she really works with Mike all the time to do stuff for us.
And it's been Mike Morgan is the one I've been working with
Yeah.
with this and the military, and both of them, they've been very, very supportive of it.
He has got an amazing military background.
He does.
He's done just about everything.
A retired colonel in the Air National Guard.
Yep. Yeah,
So
he's really
around.
cool, and he's got a lot of respect up there, mainly obviously because of his service. Here's one. The USS Flyer, which was a submarine that was lost during World War II. The Flyer sank after hitting a mine and traveling through the Balabac Strait in 1944 in the Philippines, and 8 crew members survived. Did you know much about that?
I know a little bit about the Flyer. There were 52 submarines that were lost in World War II.
Oh, really?
And every state has a monument and to dedicate it to those particular submarines that were lost. The Flyer was assigned to Vermont. There's a marker down at the Veterans Hospital in White River Junction.
Right.
And it talks about the Flyer and all the names that were on it.
Oh, really?
The United States Submarines, Inc., Submariners, the organization I belong to, I actually put all those monuments out throughout the state. As I said, every state had one or was given one.
So they assigned a ship to
A ship to a state.
Okay.
And California and New York got 2.
Well, by their size, right?
Bigger states at that time.
Because New York doesn't talk to upstate New York, so that's good.
But at least it brings recognition to those individuals that were lost and stuff.
That's great. And we're down by the Veterans Hospital or cemetery, is it?
Right there at the
VA home.
around the circle, right at the head of there's a memorial park there.
great.
And there's the one for the USS Flyer. That's where it's located at.
Nice. We should go take a tour,
So,
stuff like that.
but
That's great.
it's I think it's neat that that they recognize those individuals and the submarines that were lost during World War II, because the submarines played a major part during World War II, especially in the Pacific.
Yeah, and this one, the Flyer, it said 8 crew members survived. That's not easy to survive from a submarine, I wouldn't think, because they go down fast.
I think it was on the surface when it hit a mine. You got hatches open.
Right.
And, water comes in very fast.
Yeah, and it goes down fast,
And it goes down fast.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the 05, when it was hit, they said like within just a couple of minutes,
Right.
it was down.
Down.
Because it was on the surface, the hatches are open.
Yeah, and the water just went right in.
And so to get off there is very difficult.
There's-
Which is kind of interesting. There's a couple of websites that I'd like to mention. Well, there is a National Medal of Honor Museum, which is in Arlington, Texas.
Yeah, you told me that before the show. I'm still
Yes.
struggling with why Texas, but although they're surrounded by water. So.
And I'll give you that website so you can post it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Also, there's the website, which is the Medal of Honor organization, which all the recipients, they list all the recipients.
That's great.
And the write-ups and what states were accredited and stuff like that. And there's also a website that describes the various designs. It's said since 1861, there were several different designs before they have finally settled on the ones that they have now. There was one called the Tiffany Cross.
Yeah. Well, of course, my mind when you said Tiffany went right to the jewelry company, but
that's where it came from.
Yeah, right.
And
they designed it.
They did the design of it, and it was only presented, I think, to very few members and stuff. So it was kind of like between the Civil War and World War II, and so it's.
We must have had we must have had a lot of people in the Civil War be recognized, didn't we?
Yes.
Because we were prominent in almost every single action, certainly in Gettysburg and in Pickett's Charge and down at Cedar Creek. I mean, it was us.
There were 57.
Really?
57 Medal of Honor recipients from the Civil War.
Oh, I would think so.
In fact, I've got the proposed resolution, if I can find it here, that's hopefully will be read at the State House on the 25th.
Oh, no kidding. I have to. My husband and I are big on the Civil War, and everything you do in Gettysburg's got Vermont written all over it.
Yeah, 57 Vermonters have been presented the Medal of Honor for their service during the Civil War.
Great.
7 others was one in the Indian Wars, one in the Philippines campaign, 2 interim awards. One of them was Henry Barot, was an interim, and 3 during World War II. So, and Rampage was one of those, the submariner,
Yep.
out of the 3.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever done any of the Civil War tours, but we are prominent. We were very instrumental in Pickett's Charge down in Cedar Creek. It was, of course, we've got a whole Cedar Creek room in the State House in honor of all the soldiers that fought there.
And I believe there's a Vermont Memorial at Gettysburg.
Oh, yes, there is. Yep, and do you know what I found out? My husband and I have been going there for years. Wherever the memorials are, that's where they've actually fought. It was the part of Gettysburg where the Vermonters were. So every time you see a memorial from New York or a memorial from Pennsylvania, that's where their battles actually took place, which I didn't know that. And I thought that was quite interesting. But we've got a wonderful monument down there.
And I'll give a plug for Howard Coffin.
Oh yes, please.
Who has written 2 or 3 books about the Vermonters during the Civil War.
Yep.
And if you got that Gettysburg, they're really great.
Yeah.
So.
He told me, because we see him a lot. We see him down there, and he told me that there in the Northeast Kingdom there is an actual trail that you can take that marks the Civil War and what happened up in the Northeast Kingdom, that there are places to go and see right in our backyard that deal directly with what happened in the Civil War. Yeah. And every time I see him, I go, where's my trip? Where's my trip? And we're going to do it someday, because I think that's fascinating for people to know that.
Well, it'd be interesting to find out how many young people are aware of the St. Albans raid.
Well, there you go.
That was Civil War.
Yeah, Bennington. There's a lot of things to see and do here.
So
that's great. So tell us a little bit. We've got a little bit of time about the actual group that you belong to now. What do you get involved in? Do you take on
the Green Mountain Submarine Veterans?
Yeah, right. I know I missed out on a dinner recently, which I'm sorry about.
We get together 4 times a year, and we help support the Vermont support group for the USS Vermont.
Right.
There's several of us involved with that group. Also with the USS Montpelier, we get involved with Deborah and her group, stuff like that, and support them. Anything we can do and help support the submariners. Just recently, I hooked up with this last summer with a former Coast Guard member that I had met in Cape May. He was when I was stationed down there. He was doing recruit training. He was, what we call a boot pusher, and I'd lost contact with him because he got transferred, I got transferred, and happened to run into him. He was from Chester, Vermont.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't realize it, but he was an ex-submariner.
Ah.
So I got him to join our group, and unfortunately, he just passed away. He was down in Florida. He moved down to Florida for the winter, just passed away. So I got him to join our group and got his Holland certificate, which is 50 years qualified in submarines.
Oh, nice.
And mailed his certificate off to him, and his wife said he had it hanging on the wall. So,
Oh, how wonderful. So he got it before he passed away?
So and he just,
that's
passed
perfect.
away. He'd had unfortunately had a heart attack in September and had bypass surgery, and was able to get back down to Florida, but things just didn't work out.
Yeah, a lot of people, after this winter, but a lot of people are going to go south. It's ridiculous.
So, but that's we certainly support the submariners out there any way we can. I've given books. I had a bookstore in Springfield at one time, an antiquarian bookstore, and I had a lot of books left over, and I would donate. The guys come up from Montpelier. I donate a couple of boxes. I've donated some books to the Coast Guard station up in Burlington.
Do you know, one thing that absolutely blew my mind, and I've been here for 30-something years, I didn't know it existed, and I'm trying to struggle with the lone soldier. It's a statue of a soldier right near the Leahy Center. And
the lone sailor.
Lone sailor. Sorry,
sailor.
I apologize. That is so. Do you know anything about that? Because I didn't even know it existed. Shame on me.
There was the individual that did that particular statue.
Yep.
I think there's only 4 or 5, maybe. I may be wrong.
Right.
Around the
I
country.
thought it was even lower
There's one
than
up
that.
there in Burlington.
Yeah.
One at the Naval Museum in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
But it shows the sailor with his sea bag.
It's right for those of you. You should just go see it. It's right on the water. Right when you go to the Leahy Center, it's in the back of the Leahy Center. There's a little park there, and there's places to sit. And there's some I can't even think of the word, displays around so you can read the story. And it's I thought it was only 2, but you're probably right. I thought there were only 2 lone sailors, but it's striking, and it's right by the water, and it's just amazing. And I was so ashamed when we went, and I went, "What is this?" And I've brought people there since then because it's something we should all go see.
You think there'd be a lot more of them around,
I didn't know it was
the sculptor
there.
only did a certain amount of them, and that's it. So
it was very lifelike.
Yes.
I mean, it was beautiful, down to every detail of the uniform, and it was great.
So, and I have heard that the CO of the USS Vermont is going to be out.
Yep, it's going to be here
this coming month.
Coming soon at the end of March, middle of March. They're going to be here for the whole week, and we're trying to get the itinerary fixed. And then when we do, we'll get everything set to go to the State House. And there'll be a resolution read there. And we hope to have a lot of people. We had a lot of people last year, so we'll...
that was a good turnout.
Yeah, that was great. And you did a wonderful job on the cake. You were the one who got that cake, weren't you?
I can't remember if it was for USS Vermont or the Medal of Honor Day.
It was the Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor Day. I brought
cool.
a cake, yes.
That was good cake, besides. But, that was
good
fun.
Cake, got devoured fast.
Listen, you get hungry. They call that the freshman 15. Do you know that? When you're a new legislator, within the first year you gain 15 pounds. Because in order to stay awake, if you're late at the floor, people put food in their their desks, and all you see is people lifting their desks up, and you're not supposed to do that, but we all eat, and then you just blow up.
But talking about the resolution and stuff, I did talk with Mike Morgan. On the 25th of March, he said approximately 3 o'clock, 3:30.
Oh, that late?
Yeah, he said during the day, because it was in the middle of the week,
Yeah.
that the resolution would probably would be read later in the day.
Oh, okay.
So if I find out if it's going to be earlier.
Because I have to get the ORCA to come and videotape for us. So I already put in the request for the camera person. But that was great. We did that yesterday, and I interviewed a lot of the folks who were in attendance, and it was very moving.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Michael Chernick writes all the resolutions, and he can sit down within a half hour, spits out this incredible resolution. I don't know how he does it. He's been doing it for so many years. It just comes naturally to him.
The proposed resolution I've got here, it mentions both the submariners because, as I said, it's a distinction of only 2 submariners from Vermont out of the 8. Of course, Willie Johnson is mentioned.
Right.
And as I mentioned, the number of the Medal of Honor recipients. And I hope to have a display naming all the recipients by the towns, as well as alphabetical order.
That's great.
So that people can see if they're there, from what towns that these people had received the Medal of Honor and stuff.
Now, the first group of sailors that were on the USS Vermont, there were 2 who were from Vermont, and they've since been reassigned.
Yes.
But one of them was the nephew of one of our senators, and that was cool. Jane Kitchell. And I just thought to know somebody on the ship was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
But I think
to be a Vermonter and be assigned to the
exactly,
it's really special.
far away from home, and especially now in Pearl Harbor.
And which is kind of unique about the USS Vermont is that they have a lot of memorabilia all over the place.
Oh, yes.
The berthing areas were named after ski resorts and stuff like that. So
the Catamount and and didn't we send down pictures of? They wanted some pictures for the walls. We sent down pictures of covered bridges.
Yes, in the mess deck area.
Yeah.
The cupboards. I think it displayed that. They have a snowboard going down one of the ladders.
And we have the plate
and the
from
plates,
the
number
DMV
plates
commissioner, a
and
couple
stuff.
of the Vermont Strong plates.
So
Yeah, so if they didn't know about Vermont before they got on the ship, they're going to know about it
definitely
now.
know a lot about it.
Yeah.
I've sent them some Vermont quiz books, I think, at one time.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
And we've had the maple syrup and because we have those sunshine bags that we give to the new sailors.
to the new crew members.
Yeah,
And,
Cabot Cheese, who was, it's so funny. There are so many people, just to get offline here a little bit, but every time I've been involved with asking for donations, you could list the same companies who are so generous in this state.
the Vermont Teddy Bear.
Yeah, right,
They had the Vermont
Cabot
Teddy
and the
Bears,
Darn Tough Socks.
I think
and-
the socks were
yeah.
Vermont Tough.
We
and,
come from a very generous state.
there's a lot of them like the hot and spicy relish from Lyman's down in Dover.
Yes, no offense, Lyman's, but I can't even stand pepper. So I didn't sign up for that. That's funny.
But
They're very generous people here.
everybody's been very, very supportive
Yep.
of it. Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. So we got about 9 minutes left, so if there's anything you specifically would like to chat about, we can talk about that, or we can just make sure people know that we're having that celebration in the State House.
Well, a couple of things about the Medal of Honor. Is
Yeah, please.
That, being the highest military decoration, it's customary that no matter what rank you are, is that individual, including the president, the commander-in-chief, salutes him.
Oh, I
So
didn't know
if
that.
it's an
That's
admiral
quite
or
an
a
honor.
general, yes. If it's a Medal of Honor recipient,
Wow.
It's a courtesy to salute that
A lot to
individual.
be proud of, for sure,
So,
and to be recognized.
It's that's how serious
Wow.
the service members take that particular
Yeah.
award.
Well, you've definitely put your life on the line and probably saved some folks in the...
And it's the only military decoration that's worn around the neck.
Oh, others are pinned on?
The other ones are pinned on, on the breasts of the jackets or whatever. But the Medal of Honor it goes around the neck,
Wow.
and a blue ribbon and stars. So yes, very very
I
distinct.
would wear that all the time if I was a recipient, just because you'd have to be so proud of what you did, I guess. What an honor.
It's one of those things. I don't think the individual anticipated
Right.
that.
You just did what you did.
They do what they
Yep.
have to do. Some of the criteria that has changed, as I said, they've changed the criteria. As I said, it's while engaged in action against the enemy of the United States. It's engaged in military operations involving conflict with opposing forces. And it's while serving with friendly foreign forces engaged in any armed conflict against an opposing armed force in which the United States recipient, the United States. So, as I said, they've really kind of narrowed it down to be more specific. It's like Henry Burroughs was basically, he went back and saved somebody.
Right.
When he could have left, and so now they've really said it's got to be in combat. So that's
A bit like when your adrenaline kicks in and you don't even think about it. You just do what you have to do.
and I was reading some stuff last night that the youngest recipient alive is like 20 in his 20s. He's 24 years old, and he threw himself on a grenade during Afghanistan.
Oh, and made it through?
He made it through.
Whoa.
So.
Whoa, that's just makes you kind of...
Yeah, I know. You stop and think, would I do that?
Right,
And,
well, you would hope that your adrenaline would just do it.
And some of the individuals who said most of them have received it after they've been passed. It was passed.
Right.
The honor been given to the family. As a lot of them, know full well that what the action that they were going to do,
Right.
That they were not going to come out of it.
Right.
But they were doing it to save their fellow soldiers, sailors, or whatever.
Well, like you see on D-Day and all that, they just run towards the action and the battles while the bombs and stuff are going off. It's pretty...
And
I'm with you. I would hope I would rise to the occasion. I hope.
But you never know.
Well, you don't know. You don't know.
You never know.
That's where you hope your training
and sometimes
kicks in.
it's the least expected individual
Right.
that you would
The
expect.
quiet one in the corner.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know? Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's
That's great. So how long have you been in service, Bill?
how many years?
How many years?
I spent with my reserve time about 31 years.
Wow, good for you.
A little over 30
Yeah.
years active duty. I had some reserve time.
Whoa.
Years of reserve time in between the Navy and the Coast Guard.
Yeah. And do they combine that all together as service?
Well, they count the active duty for retired. They don't count the reserve time unless you're actually retiring under a reserve program.
Oh, I see.
So
Oh.
because I retired on active duty, retired with about a little over 2 months over 30 years.
Wow.
During after 9/11, some individuals got extended beyond 30 years. Usually, if anything beyond 30 years, if you're a flag officer,
Oh,
and which is basically an admiral or general at that rank, then they'll anywhere from 32 to 35, 36 years, depending on.
is there any limit to how long you have to
It's a
serve?
mandatory 55 years of age.
Oh, okay. That's like our state police here.
Yeah, and I said there again, unless you're a flag officer or
Right.
something, but pretty much so. 55.
Of course, these days you should probably change that 55 because what's 55 these days? Because people are living much longer than that, and they're doing just fine.
I hate to think about it, but I'm going to be 80 years old
Oh, I
this year.
got you beat. I'm 82. Ha ha.
But it doesn't, you know, as I said, if, you know, anybody out there that's, I would say, that's thinking of the service, it's not that bad.
Oh, I think it's a great
It's not
career.
that bad.
My cousin's son is making the Marines his career, as his father did, and very proud, you know,
And
of what he's doing.
as the old saying is, just join the Navy and see the world.
Yeah, in a submarine, nope.
Very well.
I don't think you see. You may see a coastline now and then, but you don't really get much chance to see
don't.
the world.
The most you see is going in and out of port, and that's about it.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, I don't. I don't know that. I don't know. I'd like to do the Air Force. I was in a Black Hawk. If they had taken anybody at 50 years old, they would have enlisted right then that day. I was just blown away by that Black Hawk. It was incredible.
Yep.
And it rose. You didn't even know it was rising. It's just so smooth. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing what the helicopters could do.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
because I used to ride in
became
those
a
ones
workhorse.
in New York that you weren't sure they were going to make it off the ground. But this thing is like they're just so solid.
And you know, a lot of people know about the Air National Guard and of course the National Guard, but a lot of people don't realize there's a Coast Guard station in Burlington.
There you go. Were you stationed here?
I was no, I was never stationed there, although
Oh,
I
too
would have
bad.
liked to have been. But it's a nice little station up there in Burlington.
Yeah.
They do a lot of aids to navigation because Lake Champlain is navigable water because they have barge traffic coming
Yep.
up through
Looking for
the
champ.
Hudson River. And so they have a contingent up there, and they have for years and stuff.
Great.
And the Naval Reserve Station, which used to be in Burlington, is now in White River Junction. And but yeah, it's, the Coast
So
Guard.
where were you stationed in the Coast Guard?
Well, I was in the Navy. I was stationed in, of course, Great Lakes for training.
Right.
Then from there, I went to Newport, Rhode Island for
Not
my
bad.
basic to
Right.
A school. And then New London, Connecticut for submarine school. Charleston, South Carolina. Then back to New London, and that's where the boat that I was stationed on, attached to, was home ported. Although we used to fly to Rota, Spain.
Oh,
Because
Rhoda.
we have two
Yeah.
crews, you know. We every 3 months we would shift crews,
Interesting.
and but now they have some of the fleet ballistic missiles that operate out of Georgia, Birmingham, Washington, as well as
Right.
Guam and Hawaii. But
Well, they've really spread out now.
they are well. They do a little longer patrols, and the missiles that they have on them. They have a lot more range on them. I think the 1,500 miles was about the max when I
Well,
was
we
on
want to
there.
thank you for your service.
Well, you're certainly
certainly-
welcome. Yeah, so.
You must have had some few stories that we should do a show just on stories from people who have served. But anyway, this is Pat McDonald, your host for Vote for Vermont. I want to thank Bill Mattoon for bringing this discussion about the Medal of Honor. I hope you come to the State House and check out that special day. There's so much that goes on in the State House that it's good to check it and just be there. I love it.
Just to look at the
No,
pictures.
I know. I just love it. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Thank you very much, Bill.
You're welcome.